Welcome back to our course Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. So our today's topic of video is BI project lifecycle. So before discussing this BI project lifecycle, I want to tell you about the SDLC, that is software development lifecycle. So I think everyone is aware about software development lifecycle. So why we need to follow SDLC? Is it the case that if we are not following the software development life cycle, we are not going to create any kind of project? So this is not the case. But if you are following the software development life cycle, then whatever the project or whatever the software that you are going to develop is of good quality. In order to demonstrate this, I will give a simple example. Suppose I need to construct a house. Okay, so in that case, maybe the two cases are there. One case is that I will approve the plan. I will prepare a map of that house and approve it from architect, and according to that I need to construct the house. In the second case, I'm not going to prepare any kind of plan. I'm not going to discuss with any kind of architect and directly start building or constructing a house. So in that case, what will happen? Maybe the case that some problem may arise, that the location of the hall, location of the washroom, location of the kitchen may get changed, or some functionality or some particular issue that may arise. So in that case, also in case 1 also you are going to construct a house, in case 2 also you are going to construct the house, but the difference is that the house which is constructed in the case 1 is more superior as compared to case 2. Why? Because in that case you have just planned, you have just prepared a design, and you have just visualized what should be the dimension of the hall, what should be the dimension of kitchen, what should be the dimension of the living, then bedroom, and all these things. But in the case 2, you are not prepared and directly start building. So in that case, you can able to build, but your house is of not that much quality. So that is a thing. That's why you require SDLC. Suppose you are following the SDLC, then whatever the project that you are going to develop is of very good quality. So you are aware about the SDLC. Now we are going to discuss about BI project lifecycle. So we already come to know what is a business intelligence. What is BI? BI, the main objective of BI is to provide information. We need to provide information as well as the knowledge. Okay, the main objective of BI is to provide knowledge as well as the information, so that company or organization will take a appropriate decision. This is what the main objective of a BI. So that BI project can also be developed for particular organization, because the requirement of the information is going to vary from domain to domain, from user to user. It is not a case that particular BI project which is developed for one client can be used by other. So in that case, the requirement is going to be varied. So in that case, modification will be there. So in this video, we are going to discuss about BI project lifecycle. So it is synonymous with the concept of SDLC. In case of SDLC, we are following to develop a project. But if we are specifying a particular BI project, then there is a life cycle. So that life cycle we are going to discuss over here. So this is there are 6 steps are there which involved in BI project life cycle. So what are the different steps are there? Analyze the business requirement, which is same as that of SDLC. Then design the logical data model, design the physical data model, building the data warehouse, creating a project, and developing the report documents, as well as testing and the deployment. So these are the various steps involved in BI project life cycle. It is somehow similar with the concept of SDLC, software development life cycle, which also consists of phases like requirement analysis, designing, implementation, testing, maintenance, deployment. So similarly, we have steps involved in a BI project life cycle. So very first step is analyze the business requirement. As I told you that the requirement of information is going to vary from client to client, project to project, as well as from domain to domain. So very first step before developing any kind of project is that you need to identify what are the requirement. Requirement means what? It's a service that particular user want from that particular software. So you should know what are the requirements of users are there. So this requirement can be classified into two categories, such as a functional requirement as well as the non-functional requirement, that we are going to discuss in the next video in detail. So functional requirement are mandatory. These are the basic requirement that you required from particular software. But non-functional requirement are additional requirement which you are adding in the software, then it will add the additional benefit to that particular software. So very first step is you have to analyze the business requirement. You need to sit with the client and just analyze what is your expectation from this particular software, what are the things that you want to automate, what kind of information that you want in order to improve your business. So that is the first phase, that is analyzing the business requirement, and in that case they are going to prepare one SRS document, that is software requirement specification, where we list out all the requirement which is been specified by the user. So this is what the first step in the BI project life cycle. Then the second step is design the logical data model. Now in designing the logical data model, what we are going to specify, we are going to specify what are the logical entities are there in that particular project and what are the relationship between that. Okay, so during this designing of logical data model, we are going to specify what are the entities which are involved in that particular project and what kind of relationship exists between that all entities. So all this task we will do in the designing of logical data model. Then after next step is designing of physical data model. So here what we are doing, we are transforming that logical data model into a physical data model. That means actually what we are doing, we are defining the structure of data warehouse, because we know that data warehouse is a part of a BI, because BI wants huge amount of data, so that data is going to be stored in the data warehouse. So in the physical data model, what we are doing, we are defining the structure of data warehouse. See, every data warehouse has its own structure, so that is being specified in the designing of physical data model. While specifying the logical data model, what we have done, we have identified the business entity and we have identified the relationship between that particular entity. So in the designing the physical data model, what we have done, we have just defined the structure of data warehouse. Then next step is build the data warehouse. Means in the fourth step we are actually developing a data warehouse, create the data warehouse, and in that data warehouse mini part is there, that is data mart. Data mart is a small version of data warehouse. Means we can say that data mart is a subset of data warehouse. Data warehouse size is very large, but data mart size is small as compared to data warehouse, and you are actually loading the data. Okay, create the data warehouse, build a data mart, as well as you have to load the data into a data warehouse. So that we are doing in this particular phase, that is the building the data warehouse for particular project that will satisfy particular requirement for this particular client. And then you will create the project. Okay, then you will actually implement the project. You will use ETL tool to extract the information. You will set up the you just configure this setup so that data can be loaded into data warehouse, then it is extracted from data warehouse, analyze it and provide it to user, and finally you will develop the report document. And before that phase, actually there is a phase of testing and deployment. After creating your complete project, next step is BI project testing. In the testing phase, you are going to check whatever the functionality that is specified by user is satisfied in the project, in this particular software or not. So testing is just checking. Testing is a process where you will verify whatever the requirement specified by user is satisfying or not. So that we are doing in the testing. After testing, there is a deployment. Means you need to deploy that project in the actual client environment where that project is going to be used, where that software is going to be used. And you will also provide the reports as well as the document related to software. What is the login password, what are the basic functionalities, what are the flow of the project. So related to software, you will also provide the documentation. Documentation is also very important. You will provide the report, what kind of functionality is been providing, functional requirement, non-functional requirement that is being satisfied. So all this thing will be documented and provided to the client. So this is how the flow of BI project lifecycle works. So finally I can say that BI project lifecycle is somehow similar with the concept of SDLC, if you are following this life cycle, then whatever the BI project that you are developing, that is of good quality. Again, I am saying it is not mandatory, but if you are following it, you will get a good quality software. So this is what the main thing in the BI project life cycle. So I hope you understand what is BI project life cycle and what are the phases involved in it. Thank you.